Welcome back to Askewed Reviews, and today we have a fan request, and it is for the 1994 comedy drama Muriel's Wedding. Here is your trivia question for today. What is the name of Muriel's hometown that was created for this film? The answer will be at the end of this episode. So, at the beginning of this movie, we meet Muriel Heslop, played by Toni Collette. Muriel is a bit socially awkward. She also has issues with lying and stealing sometimes, which causes her to be alone from time to time. She also loves the band ABBA and is completely obsessed with getting married one day. Bill Heslop is Muriel's father, who seems to have no faith in her or his other children. He also has aspirations for only getting further into politics, and is probably having an affair with this woman named Deirdre. Betty Heslop is Muriel's mother, who has little to no self confidence, and unfortunately allows herself to be walked all over. And then, of course, there's also Muriel's siblings, who are also strange and awkward, and seem to just loaf about and don't do much. Muriel does have a group of friends. However, it's about this time that they decide to kick Muriel out of the group as they're going to head off to do a tropical island vacation. Right about that time, Muriel comes into possession of a blank check from her father. So she decides to steal $12,000 from him and go off on that vacation as well. Now, while on the vacation, she runs into an old school friend named Rhonda. Now, the two of them hit it off right away. They both have a love for ABBA. They decide to become best friends and move in together in a place in Sydney. And Rhonda ends up helping out Muriel when it comes to men. Through the course of the movie, some bad things start to happen to the people that Muriel cares about. But the real question comes up, is she willing to stop and help out her friends, or will she just continue forward until she gets her own happy ending? The film is directed and written by P.J. Hogan. He actually based Muriel's personality off of himself, but he based her actions off of his sister, who actually embezzled $15,000 from their father and then disappeared to Sydney, Australia to live with a friend. Toni Collette did an amazing job as Muriel in this film. I think it's honestly one of her best roles. In fact, she gained 40 pounds in 7 weeks just to play the character. She was also not the only actress up for the role. Gina Riley, Julia Morris, and Nicole Dixon were also up for it. Bill Hunter also did a great job as the character of Bill Heslop. In fact, Hunter was filming both this movie and The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert at the exact same time. What's interesting is both of those films have a bit of a cult following and prominently feature the music of ABBA. There's also another fun little nod to another movie that Bill Hunter was in. In the video store, you can see a poster for the movie Strictly Ballroom, which he also appears in. There was actually quite a few actors up for the role of Bill Heslop, including John Wood, Ray Meager, Mark Mitchell, Peter Moon, Paul Hogan, Jamie Dunn, Ross Higgins, John Jarrett, John Howard, Robert Hughes, Tom Oliver, Terry Gill, and Brian Brown. Apparently, the character of Bryce, played by Matt Day, also had some potential actors up for that role as well, including Eric Bana, Peter Rawsthorne, Russell Gilbert, and Ernie Dingo. So apparently, the band ABBA did not actually agree to the movie using their music until 2 weeks before shooting started. So just in case, PJ Hogan decided that if they couldn't use ABBA, they were going to go with the Village People. What's interesting is due to the international success of this film and its use of the music of ABBA, it actually inspired the Broadway musical Mamma Mia, and of course the two films that were inspired by the play. And in an even more interesting twist of fate, in 2016, Muriel's Wedding got its own musical stage production. So when it comes to the film Muriel's Wedding, I really like this movie. It's definitely really strange, really out there, and it's very original in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, I felt that the character of Muriel, even though Toni Collette did an amazing job, was very unlikable through almost all of the film. So I am going to have to give this movie a 3 out of 5. Now, as for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode, what is the name of Muriel's hometown that was created for this film? The fictional town in this movie is called Porpoise Spit, and apparently it is actually inspired by the town Tweedheads in New South Wales, which is where PJ Hogan grew up. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if there is a movie you'd like to see get a review, just mention it in the comments. And as always, Like, comment, share, and subscribe.